I look like a ragamuffin. We don't judge. So I'm going to tell you about my last 2 weeks, probably not even that long. I was having some nosebleeds, so I went to the doctor, and doctor spoke perfect, beautiful English, no issues, like no communication. The whole office really spoke a lot of English, or at least enough. Like some people spoke very fluently, some people enough to get by for me. I mean, I'm the one who has to get by. I'm in Vietnam. I'm in their country. But regardless, it's so much easier when you can communicate. So, he did a just nose endoscopy and in my throat. Totally vomited on him. It was just water, but I felt so bad. He was so sweet about it though. He was really goofy, really nice, like not goofy, but like he would joke with me, and made me feel super comfortable. Like his bedside manner was amazing. Turns out I just had like a busted capillary or something. He said it's probably the weather. Honestly, the pharmacist said so too. Because before I went to the doctor, I asked the pharmacist like, hey, any of my medicines that I take, do any of these are any of these known to cause nosebleeds? No. And the pharmacist said it's probably the weather because it's so freaking hot here. And he's like, yeah, so when you go from the heat, and me as a foreigner, I have air conditioner, even though it's only 27 degrees Celsius, which I don't know Fahrenheit, but I don't keep it cold, but still just the constant like outside to inside cold, it happens. So I guess that's known to just bust some blood vessels. So okay, but while I'm there, he's like, let's just do like a full rundown. So he recommended, and I ended up having everything he recommended I had. So he said the nasal and throat endoscopy. Let's see, we had a chest x-ray, EKG. Since I'm a cancer survivor, he did an ultrasound of my neck, heart. I have a heart murmur, so probably from the chemo that I was on. But he did an echo of my heart, and then also CT. Not, bleh, I'm getting ahead of myself. Also my abdomen. So turns out I have some cysts on my right ovary. So that was something to look for, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Sorry, my brain does that. So, plus the urinalysis, fecal exam, and blood work, just standard everything that I usually have. That office visit, I was there for about 2 hours. Everything was done in office without needing an appointment, by the way. $93 US and change. So 93 and change. Then let's see. He recommended me to have, so like because of the cysts in my ovaries, he recommended me to either have an MRI or later on to have an ultrasound, again, like a repeat ultrasound. And I was like, I'm not gonna be here though. So I'm leaving in a couple weeks. And he's like, oh, okay, no problem. So he gave me a blood test, and it checks for cancer markers, ovarian cancer markers, negative, by the way. And apparently I had some blood in my stool, so I had to have a colonoscopy as well. So I paid for that, and that was $177 US, which that was like the most expensive thing I've had. Everything's fine. I have some GERD issues, which I knew because I've had bariatric surgery and it causes acid reflux, so no problem. I have an ulcer, so I suspected there was something not the best there, because like after I eat, I tend to have like heartburn, which was never a thing for me in the past, but 9 years later after bariatric surgery, it's finally starting to catch up to me. I can handle that. So I have to take Nexium now. Just pick that up. And but everything else is fine. So then he recommended me to he was like half and half, because also in my abdomen, he said something is pushing my diaphragm up way higher than it should be. So there might be a mass, but he can't really tell on an x-ray. So, ooh, I'm all ragamuffin-y looking. So, okay, you know, whatever, I was like, well, if you recommend me to have it, I'll do it. Because he was saying, well, you know, you could wait until you get back to the US. It's like, no, 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 no. I'm sure it'll be way cheaper here. So I got it done today. Walked into the hospital, no appointment, and 45 minutes later, I walked out with my films. I had a CT of my abdomen done, $73, I think, or $78. It was in the 70s. It was under $80. Maybe it was $78.30, I think. Maybe. I can't remember. But I'm horrible at remembering numbers. But it was under $80 to have a CT. That would cost thousands in the US. The colonoscopy, I had a upper and lower endoscopy. That, I Googled it, and it's like between 2,000 and 4,000 US. I paid 170 something, like 171 or whatever. Like, healthcare is so jacked in the US. Like, I would have paid way more with insurance. And like, for me to have this without insurance here, just walk in, no problem. And again, at this hospital is like super clean, super nice. People, they have like a floor that caters to tourists, so they all speak English. Really nice and clean hospital, like seriously, really, really nice. As good, if not better, than some of the hospitals that I've been to in my area in Florida. Like, one of the hospitals that we have is not the best in Florida, where I'm from. So like, this was way nicer, and it's astonishing to me how robbed we are in the US and how cheap healthcare is elsewhere. Like, it's mind-blowing. And in the US, like, for me to get in to see a doctor as a first-time visit, I had to wait months. And then, you know, you can't just have tests done immediately there. Like, you have to wait and get scheduled and whatever. The only thing I had to schedule was the colonoscopy, and that's only because there's prep work involved. So, and I had it like a week later because the multivitamin that I take has iron in it, and like, they don't want you to have iron for a week prior to having a colonoscopy. So like, that's all that had to be scheduled. And like, I am leaving with like my medical records. I have the phones and everything, so I could bring it back with me to the US. Like, it's insane. It's insane. This is how it should be. And I'm in like a third world country. America's ghetto. We're so ghetto. We're so ghetto. Anyway.